Has Fraser Forster been the most successful summer signing from the summer window? Let me just recap with you who we signed this summer. Richarlison, 60 million. Bissouma, 25 million. Jed Spence, 15, 20 million. Ivan Perisic on a free. Clement Longley on a loan. And Fraser Forster on a free transfer. We'll start with you, Iggy. Has he been our most successful summer signing?
For me, look, sadly, I have to say Forster, and I want to be saying so many other more players, but of the recent performances, and even one, I was really impressed with him at Nottingham Forest. Goal aside, I thought he was assured of himself, and he's coming to his own. The more games he's getting, the more he seems to be growing in stature as well. So, Richarlison, Bissouma, how can Bissouma just started off from that South Korea, where he picked up that long COVID, it just seemed to not quite take off. And now we find out that injury has actually been with him longer than we first thought. Richarlison's been stop-start with his injuries. Longley, up and down. We've got the Longley of Barcelona, sadly, and not the one from Sevilla. Perisic started off okay, but showing his limits as well now. And I don't know, post-World Cup, he just hasn't returned. And what's left? Jed Spence and now Porro. So, yeah, out of all the ones that we just spoken about, Porro's shown good signs, and he looks like he's going to be a player. But, yeah, Forster has to say, overall, since the summer, he's been the only one that you can say, yeah, he's worthy of the number 2 shirt or the number, the sub-goalie shirt. The others haven't quite made their own.
Yeah, I just have to be an echo, to be fair. Forster, I had my reservations about him, but what he's proved me wrong is that he's actually good with his feet. He can play out from the back, and that's a massive way how we play, how we set up. Looks very comfortable on either foot, left foot, right foot. He's not bad at saving as well. He can keep the ball out. And also, I like him when it comes to corners and set pieces. He's quite commanding. He's quite tall. He's a bit of a big lad. He's able to stop that. And I was a bit nervous with Lloris when it came to corners or crosses. He was a bit short. And I just feel like, yeah, Forster's a bit of safe hands. Albeit that certain games, I feel like he could have done better. Like, for example, against Wolves when he's parried it out back to Dharma. Dharma scored. And Sheffield United when he got beat by his near post, I feel like he could have done better. But overall, I think like he's held down that number 2 slot, as Iggy was saying, and I feel like the other players have been a lot more inconsistent since they've been coming in. Like Perisic had a good start, but ever since we've changed to 2 a week, I think his legs can't manage it. I think his age is starting to show a bit, and positionally, he's just not a wing back. He's just a winger. For me, he can't play as a wing back. Then you have Bissouma again. Bissouma playing in that 3. He's all right, but in the 2, he's been up and down. Coming off the bench, he's been good, but when he started games, he hasn't looked as good. Jed Spence obviously has been documented a lot. Really had 60 minutes, I think. It was about 60 minutes. Porro's looking really good. Defensively, Porro, I think it's just defensively we're not sure about. When it comes to that harder test, we'll soon find out about Porro if he's good enough. And then you look at Richarlison. Richarlison, to be fair to him, he's been good for the team overall. But in terms of actual scoring goals, that's what he needs to improve, and that's what we bought him for. 60 million to be scoring goals, albeit people are saying he's been played out of position, left, right, and centre. Left or the right. He hasn't really played it in the number 9 role where Kane is. But saying that, on Saturday, he looked really, really sharp, and he showed us what we can do in front of goal. He looked really, really good in front of goal. And his link-up play, for me as well, is really good. I really like his link-up play. That's not being talked about. Everyone's talking about how defensive he is and how physical and how he tires out the players and the defenders. But I just think he linked up well with Son Saturday. He really linked up with Son and Kane and was involved in all 3 goals at some point. So, but going back to my point, Forster is, I think he's the best signing for us.
Sim,
He's the only one that's currently doing the job required.
literally.
Good second keeper. That's what we brought him in to do, and he's been a decent second keeper. What can I say? Richarlison hasn't been a £60 million signing at the moment. I have to say. That's just reality. It might change in the last 11 games, but at the moment he hasn't. Basuma has been very indifferent, and then he's been ruled out for the rest of the season, so he hasn't been it. Spence has been put on loan after 6 months. Udoji's out on loan. Maybe Udoji's our best summer signing, I guess.
Probably.
Probably Udoji, I'd have to say. He's been great. Not for us, unfortunately, but he has been good. I mean, it's by default. What can I say? Forster, I guess you have to give it to Forster, which is incredible. A free transfer of a 34-year-old keeper who was in a bottom half Premier League team last season, and now he's our best summer signing from last season, which is crazy to think about. But I guess he has to be. I think I'm praying when you ask me this question at the end of the season, I have a different answer. But at the moment, it is Forster.
Well, look, let me ask you this, guys. If Lloris is back after the international break, this is just an assumption. If Lloris is back after the international break, Forster has a good game against Southampton. Are you sticking with Forster, or are you bringing Lloris back into the team? We'll start with you, Iggy.
Do you know what? I was having a chat with someone on Nottingham Forest on Saturday about this, and I said, you look at it and you're thinking the answer should really be no, but then you think to yourself, that's my first goalkeeper, and that is my club captain too. If he's good to go, you got to give him his place back, man. It's as simple as that. You got to see how he comes back, how he starts to look in the training during that break, and if he's good and ready to go, goalkeepers cannot be treated like outfield players. You have a clear, defined, order there. You have your first goalkeeper and you have your sub goalie. And for me, if that is what is still, if Conte still sees him as that, and I believe he does, I think Lloris will take his place if he's good to go.
Do you think Lloris's performances this season have warranted maybe coming back and walking straight back into the team?
Yeah, it's just for me, Foster is the kind of ideal goalkeeper moving forward. Whoever that next one will be is what we kind of require: stature, presence, height, good with his feet. Bit more commanding in the 6-yard box and corners than say Lloris is. So I've already got a clearer vision of what I want as a goalkeeper for next year after seeing Foster. But in regards to Lloris, no, he doesn't deserve probably his place back in the side. But listen, he's our first team goalie, at least to the end of the season. He's our club captain. For me, if he's fit and he's good to go, he's got to come back into it.
Ash?
Yeah, I'll echo that, man. It's just, to me, it's logical sense. It just makes sense. Normally, you go for who's in form, but you just have to when it comes to goalkeepers and as club captain, you have to go back to default. Even though he's been poor, I think the time off would have done him good. He was coming back off the Rocky World Cup. He hasn't been good this season, but I think he'll be eager to make amends.
Yeah.
And he is a world-class goalkeeper, and he has been for many years. I know he's been dropping off maybe the last 2 seasons, but you can still see his reactions are top class. When it comes to world-class saves, he's still pulling off like a cat. Like, he's got ninja reflexes. I remember against Fulham, I think it was Mitrovic had a shot and he just pulled off a worldie. Like, he's just got that in him. And so I just think out of the 2 keepers, when it comes to shot stopping, he's your guy.
Lloris, easy.
All day. Yeah, Lloris all day.
At least he can get down low to his right and his left.
Sometimes it takes a second too long to kind of just do the simple pass. There you go. You got pluses and you got negatives, basically, with Lloris and Forster. Do you know what I mean? Lloris, you kind of know what you're getting, and Forster is an adequate and good enough backup.
Who would you like to see moving forward? The next one. Who would you guys like to see coming in? From what you've seen anyway in the Premier League or
David
abroad?
Raya.
Yeah.
100%. I think he's got everything that we need, and he's Levy special as well. Contract running down, rejecting contracts from Brentford. I just think everything makes sense with him.
It's all aligned.
Chelsea want him to.
But look,
Yeah,
I
but
think
how many keepers can these guys got, man?
That's a
They
serious lag, I think.
do what they want.
I think we're going to have to end it there, guys. We're having a bit of problems with the internet, and we've come to the end of the topics anyway. So I'd like to say thank you, Ashmatic, for coming on today. Thank you, Iggy. Everyone go and subscribe to Tottenham Away while you're here. And big up, guys. Thanks for coming on today.